Hello, everyone. I'm just going to say right off the bat that I am very conflicted about publishing this series, but I'm going to work through the avoidable exposure that it is that I'm subjecting myself to try to help as many people as possible and also to clarify my own concepts. Above and beyond some of the videos I did in my ramblings section about free will and balance and all that, I just want to dive deeper into the lives of possibly people that self-identify as navigators and are curious about the fictional or experiential parts of those characters in the book or possible applications for RL, as the kids call it. So, the diagram. You might be saying, what the hell is this diagram about? It's basically a visual aid for the stuff I talked about earlier in regards to free will. But it has a lot to do with discernment and consciousness and perception and space-time and things like that. So I will go into it. I threw it together like in an hour or something. And I know it's crappy, but it'll serve its purpose, and I can always replace it with something better. Placeholders. Placeholders are huge in life. So very briefly, the gray area is, representing the subconscious. The triangles and the large triangle are representative of the ego. I'm sorry, the smaller triangles are the ego, the interpreter. The large triangle is consciousness. And on the left is a cylinder or rectangle, and with a six-sided symbol that is yellow. Okay, so that symbolizes a perceptual shape or framework that is like a tube, like looking through a paper towel tube, and having a somewhat cautionary view of the world, and recognizing or perceiving that most things are black and white, but there is some gray area. Okay. The three six-sided shapes represent the five senses, and how the person is utilizing them, and also a sixth sense, which could be interpreted as heightened senses, producing what would appear to be a supernatural effect, or psi powers or something, or it could be something like the results of remote viewing or other practices that bleed from that, semi-mysterious sixth sense into other parts of Newtonia and quantum physics that can have measurable effects or personal anecdotal effects that have some kind of concrete results to them or application. On the opposite side of that is a triangle with a black side, a white side, and a red, like a stop sign, six-sided, okay? That represents a reverse cone of perception, very narrow at the front, where most things in the person's mind are very black and white, and there is an extreme aversion to things outside of those black and white perceived concepts. So a high level of fear, xenophobia, stuff like that. The top upside down pyramid has a green center for, all systems go, or, we're low expectations and high inquisitiveness. Okay, so like a kid's mind, a child's mind. And then the rainbow spectrum on there is representative of being able to perceive as many layers of everything in balance as possible. And I will say this from the get-go, that exerting my own balance and free will and self-control and all these things, and not using expletives, if the concept of a rainbow in any form is an affront to your sensibilities, or you cannot get over the fact that, some groups use it as a symbol, this is probably not the channel that you want to be watching in general. I mean, enjoy the books and everything, but this series will not be for you if you cannot discern that a rainbow is a physical rainbow, out in the world, and it's also a symbol used by some people, and it represents a spectrum in this diagram. If you can't get past that, don't keep listening to this recording. Just go watch a cat video. I mean, they're really cool. I love cats. So anyways, in this series, I will be talking about discernment. What is consciousness? What is intelligence? How perception, different types of perception, space-time, how time works. And I'll try to use as many practical examples as I can and try to simplify the concepts as much as I can, because some of them, if I use the language that I'm accustomed to, in my own lexicon, won't make a whole lot of sense sometimes. So I'll try to use common usage phrases and not woo-woo a word into something that it is not normally. Okay, so let's get started.